Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi.
You were a little condescending just a minute ago.
I didn't mean to be, but
You see, just to set the stage, I suppose. I don't know if we should get a nice wood table, right?
that would be nice. Yeah.
Something nicer, something to elevate the visual status. But in the meantime, this black table, I know it's not the cleanest table. I mean, I don't know how well it picks up on camera. There's some dust, there's some dirt, but I did notice right before we rolled that there was a couple what I called orange specks.
Right.
Can you just flick away because they're closer to you? Flick away those orange specks, whatever they are.
And I started flicking away what I thought was one of them. You said, no, not those.
The orange ones.
The orange ones. They're clearly orange. Are you colorblind?
I didn't finish the word color. I almost said colorblind.
And I said, and I started flicking them away, and I just informed you that those were not orange.
Well, say how you said it.
It's like, those aren't orange.
That's
but
not
okay.
what you did, is it? They're not orange. They're not orange.
They're not orange.
They're not orange.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
They're not orange.
And
Which they were.
I started saying, well, orange is pretty close to. You said, oh, it's not orange. They're brown.
Yeah.
I said, well, orange is pretty close to brown. If you think about burnt sienna, whatever, copper. And what was your response?
And I said, well, they're definitely not orange because they're flakes of a croissant.
A croissant you were eating.
A croissant I was eating.
Okay.
And I was being a little bit of a messy baby with.
And you get a little bratty about it.
It's like, but I was just a little bit floored that you interpreted like brown croissant flakes to be orange.
Well, like I said, burnt. I don't know how much time you spent with Crayola crayons.
I think we
as a
need
kid.
to start getting into shades with you now because you're starting to blur the lines between what normal people view as color because you have an eye for color.
As a butcher?
So you, as a butcher, yeah. When you're cutting all those slabs of meat, like you got it. That's how you tell how fresh it is.
Sure.
And so you can tell all these shades of red.
That's why I need a vector scope.
Yeah. So you need to start saying like that burnt sienna flake.
Oh, so you want me to go more in detail with color? You want me to be like a douchebag about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a slight orange hue there. Can we adjust for that? Can we lower the saturation on that? And then I just blow my brains out. Mm-hmm. And you go, what color is my blood?
Oh, that kind of leads in perfectly to the.
I wish one day we'll be good at this at the same time. Because which one? Oh, you're right. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. So we've been dropping little hints about it or little nuggets. And we finished last week, but we watched the entire series of The Shield. It was Lucie's first time.
Yeah. Amazing show.
I mean, it's honestly, I watched it I got a couple seasons in late, but by the third season I was caught up. I watched it, as it aired. But my stance has always been that it's the greatest show of all time. And definitely the prestige era, whatever you want to call it, the golden age of television, which is over. Anyone who tells you like there's some kind of because there's 800 shows on, like maybe one of them is good. Like Succession's still good. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying look, Euphoria might be okay. It might be good, but there's really nothing out there like The Shield, The Sopranos, The Wire. I
watched some of Euphoria.
Is it good?
No, I wouldn't say so. Look, it's like some of the cinematography achievements in it are impressive.
Really impressive.
Yeah, I would say call them.
They
impressive.
do like little whirly bird movements while they're puking, puking up their PCP.
They do some interesting things with the visuals.
I don't want to slander the show. And I know it's controversial because of underage girls in high school. Are they also like
that's
hooking?
The thing. That's what I was gonna say. It's like, despite anything that you might say like is impressive about it, like it's still just like these like grown people coming up with like pornographically horrific ideas for like situations a teen could be in.
Right.
It's still like
it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are they hooking to get drugs in the show?
Not really. Maybe there's a
so how pornographic does it get? What are they doing then?
Well,
because that's the real story. That would be the real Euphoria. Is like we really like drugs. We don't have money, so we hook to get them. It's not that innovative. But it's been happening for at least a decade.
That's true.
I'm kidding, forever.
So Zendaya, her character,
Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Spider-Man's girlfriend is a drug addict.
Right.
Too smart for her own good, drug addict. And then
I was a too smart for my own good. Not I don't know what you call it. I wasn't straight edge on purpose.
Yeah.
But I remember we told this story, right?
I don't know.
When it was like I got really frustrated because I was trying to make a movie and someone dropped out at the last minute, so I had to pour myself a drink. And my dad just starts yelling at me like, "No, it's a drug, Raymond." So I mean, I don't know if I can relate to these whirlybird kids. I keep saying whirlybird, but it applies, right?
I know what you're talking about. And then there's there's a trans girl who's fucking all of these older men and getting exploited by older men. And it's
sounds like they're getting exploited too.
Yeah, I
don't know. Can you say that about statutory rapists? Do they know she's underage?
Well, it's not that. I don't think that ever becomes a thing. Like, it's like,
why is that ever a thing? It should always be a thing.
Yeah,
it should at least be a thing. Because
it's clearly some executive producer's fantasy about fucking an underage trans girl, and then it's just like cool afterwards.
All right.
And then it just like
also never even becomes an issue.
Like she's kind of traumatized, but like nobody, nothing ever comes of it.
I mean, I knew girls in high school.
It's all just in this amoral soup.
I knew girls in high school who were dating and having sex, I guess, with like college guys.
Sure.
And,
these aren't college guys.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, even then it was like, I mean, nothing happened from it, but like, I remember like being like, that's weird. And then like she showed me his ID. I remember this one girl. We was in study hall. He was a college friend. And he's like, oh, here's his like college ID or whatever it was. I'm like, why do you have it? She's like, oh, I just wanted to keep it. But in hindsight, that seems much more nefarious. Like, it's just like blackmail. Like, I don't know what she would have wanted. I don't think she was trying to get a car off the guy.
Right.
It was like, I got your ID. I'll tell me you fucked me. But whatever. I'm not trying to make the underage girl the antagonist here. But I mean, yeah, whatever. So what do? They come up with weird plot. We're getting far away from the Shield here.
I don't know. Yeah, let's go back to the Shield because it's I don't know. It's just it's Degrassi with like better production value.
Sure, it's Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man's girlfriend.
But so we watched the Shield, but I was worried it wouldn't hold up as much. I know it's a much more touchy subject, the corrupt cops beating up minorities. Oh, sure. Which the Shield does, but in hindsight, it has way more. I mean, there are visceral moments where it's like, yeah, you're kind of on this anti-hero side, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's like, it is much more aware than I remember. But of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like they never what I was saying to you before was like they never let you feel good about the fact that Michael Chiklis is just like tasering a guy in the balls after he's already on the ground.
Right. And even when you feel good about it, like you feel bad about feeling good.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the arc of the story is far superior to almost anything that's been made.
Yeah.
Whatever. But that's not what we're here to talk about. It's an old show.
I don't think you could accuse the Shield of romanticizing the cops.
No. But there is it's aware of like the effect of like anytime you have a protagonist, and you kind of and like part of it's also kind of willful. Like you kind of get like seduced into the side on some like moments, but then it's immediately like it whatever. This is not the point of the show.
Yeah.
But there's a character on the Shield, and I didn't tell you at first because I knew about this, a few years after the fact. But I knew about it, and I didn't want to like color your view of the character because of what the actor did subsequently.
Right.
But and I just forgot to tell you for like a week. But last night, there's a character called Julian, played by Michael Jace, who is a pretty complex character. He's like a closeted gay guy in the first season, and then like. He comes out. He doesn't come out on purpose, but he gets like beaten up by his like coworkers. But then he does like conversion therapy, and it kind of works, but suppressed. It's whatever. Right? It's a very complicated plot. I think you end up kind of empathizing with this guy.
Yeah.
He ended up murdering his wife.
This actor.
The actor, not the character.
Yeah.
And it's the details of it that. I think the reason we're bringing this up are interesting. I think
it's one of those things where it's like Yeah, anytime you hear about somebody murdering their spouse, you don't assume that there's like a great story behind it.
Right.
But
I wouldn't call it a great story, but it's a hell of a story.
No, by great, I don't mean like, oh, that's a great story. I don't mean like, you don't assume that there's going to be some story behind it that completely clears them of fault.
No,
like, it's like,
sure.
But this was maybe one of the most, like, some of the most incriminating details I've ever heard in like a domestic violence killing. Like, it's like,
I think it starts off with, like, if you read about the story, that he calls 911, says, "I've shot my wife."
Right.
It's just like, oh, so you're like, there's no trial here. Like,
so that's pretty straightforward. But also sometimes like the fact that they're calling will sometimes like maybe make you wonder. It's like, oh, okay, you know, maybe, again, I didn't think this, but sometimes in certain contexts it'll make you think like, oh, well, maybe there was a confrontation, like maybe.
Or like Oscar was it Pistorius?
Yeah.
The what do they call him? The Wave Runner? The Blade Runner? Blade Runner. The guy who had no legs, who had like the claw legs or whatever they were. Right?
I was gonna say the legless guy, but I was like, that can't be the right way to say that.
Well, he doesn't have. Look, I mean, he is missing legs.
Yeah.
And then probably at the moment he is too.
I think you could call him legless, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's the most. Look, if you were bringing him up to give him like a lifetime achievement award, or like you know, you were presiding over his wedding, I don't think you'd be like, and you, legless man, Oscar Pistorius. I think you'd probably leave with something else, like, you know, champion runner or killer of girlfriend.
Yeah, but I think even if I was his best man, I would feel the need to be like, he is a champion runner, but he also has blades instead of legs, so you have to make of that what you will. Like, you can't.
Well, I think, okay, short of, I mean, without the murder, I think most people would make something good out of it. I don't know why. He's overcome adversity.
Does it give him a disadvantage? Does it give him an advantage? Who knows?
He's overcome adversity. He's done this all without the use of his legs. And so you interpret that fact.
Sometimes the guys without legs will take advantage of that.
Well,
because what if the blades actually make you super aerodynamic?
Well, no, there was a lot of debate about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, about whether like.
Did I stumble into a good point?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a good. I mean, look, I don't know.
I was just trying to be difficult.
Before he was convicted of murdering his girlfriend, I don't know if it was considered ableist.
Right.
But there was definitely speculation or debate. Because like the way they had like this spring action to him, that I mean, people argued that like they pushed him forward or whatever on some level.
Fuck yeah!
But you know, I mean, I think you have a certain. I think your legs.
I don't know.
I think there's also a certain benefit to having legs. So I'm not sure how to weigh it out.
Right. Yeah, having legs probably makes a lot of things easier. So
some things. I don't want to make light of it by pointing out the things that could make easier to not have legs, but you can use your imagination.
I would definitely not be going down this road if he wasn't a murderer.
I thought you were going to say I definitely would not be going down on him if he had legs. I mean, it would make blowjobs easier, right? Right? For you to give.
I don't know if they make them easier.
Or me to give.
I don't know if they make it easier for us to give him blowjobs, like because the blades are sticking out and like. I
think he takes those off for bedtime.
Generally, you do a blowjob on kind of your knees, so it's like.
I think he takes those off for bedtime.
Even if you're on your knees on the bed, I'm not saying you have to be in a subservient position.
He takes the blades off for bedtime.
Yeah, okay. Does he?
I think so.
I feel like if the blades were my claim to fame, I would want to keep them on during sex.
Well, like, we had a girlfriend. Like, he's not. Like, I'm sure the first time he had sex with a woman, he kept them on. And he goes like, "How do you like it when the Blade Runner blades you? You're getting run over by the Blade Runner. Yeah. I'm a champion. Yeah, that's the Blade Runner fucking you. But that being said, but yeah, I think he claimed when he shot his girlfriend that he thought she was a robber, which I think was debunked or whatever you call it in the trial.
Right.
But that's not what Michael Jace was about.
No.
So he
was married to April Jace.
Okay. Because you read the thing more recently. I'm going to let you
I was like screaming as I was reading it.
Yeah.
I was like, her name was April Jace. She was. This is obviously very sad, but it's also
a horrific story.
The thing is, it's also insane.
Yeah, it's
like,
an horrific story.
Like, so April Jace was this like championship runner,
right?
And so, and this is according to his son, right? Michael Jace's son. on like the night that
he was like questioned by the cops, I guess.
Like the way he killed her was he actually shot her in the legs.
Yeah.
And then he said after shooting her in the legs, he said, you like running so much? Why don't you try running to heaven?
Right, which sounds like something I would say.
Right, which that was the first time I read it, I laughed a little bit just because it sounds so much like something you would say.
Yeah, like I'm always like every time I'm referencing someone who's about to get killed, my favorite go-to line is say hello to the Grim Reaper.
George running to heaven.
So yeah, that's a tragic story.
But yeah, no, it's mostly horrific.
Yeah,
there's a bunch funny about it, except for that it kind of sounded like something you would say.
Right. There's a long way to go to get to. I just want to get I want to shoehorn my Grim Reaper line in. Say hello. I should make shirts that say that. Say hello to the Grim Reaper. It's just me, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, but the Shield's phenomenal. Everyone should watch the Shield. Not enough people watch the Shield. It's it gets people talk about Breaking Bad a lot. Breaking Bad is dog shit compared to this. They almost have a similar milieu of like. Don't act like I'm like you leave me out dry here, but like you said the same thing.
I was saying during when we were watching it, like Michael Chiklis is the real Walter White. Like, it's like this is because he is kind of like in a position to do a lot of illegal things. He is presumably doing it for his family,
right?
Even though they don't seem to come into play a lot. Yeah,
he's always telling them to shut up and do nothing.
Yeah,
but no, it's great. Yeah. Bird's a guy. I don't know. I don't want to tell anyone. Great plot. Moving on. Speaking of shows and movies, where am I going with this? Nomadland. No, I'm just kidding. There was someone on Twitter, which is causing a bit of a somewhat of a kerfuffle on Twitter. I don't know. It's really the most. I have a decent amount of followers, right? I have like 44,000 now, and like the whole thing of me following 350 people. Maybe I should start following some people. Yeah. Maybe it gets better when you follow more because right now it seems like a very. I think it's a diverse group of ideas. It's like I have leftists and I have crazy people. I don't know. It just seems like it's getting more and more top. I mean, the Rogan thing. I don't know. It just feels very aggressive, and there's nothing fun going on. I should follow Carrot Top maybe.
Well, there's like agents. Like it's weird how much people don't realize, considering how conspiratorial everyone is. Yeah. It's weird how much people don't realize when they're clearly being manipulated by like someone else's media strategy. Like it's like right. There's clearly a media strategy against Rogan right now.
100%. That doesn't mean that you absolve him of everything he did, but it's also like I'm not the Pope, so who am I to absolve anyone? Right. But yeah, like look, some of the stuff that came out this week is like, yeah, it's not great. But it's like it's like misinformation, which we spoke about this a lot on the Patreon this week. But like misinformation is the new terrorism. Right. It's the new Code Orange, don't go outside today. Someone might use a shoe to blow up a plane, right? Yeah. Now it's just like Rogan's responsible for, World War I because of his right. It's just, and look, the guy, I don't know. If the society can't survive Rogan, choosing people on his podcast, like maybe it's like misinformation. Okay. Yeah. But how are we supposed to function as a society if a podcast can bring it down? Yeah. We're admitting defeat. I'm not supporting I don't get down with the COVID vaccine conspiracy shit. Right. But it's just But
I also don't think
let people talk.
Yeah, the bar for misinformation.
Oh, people aren't getting vaccinated. They probably weren't anyway. They probably flocked to him because he was the only one of the guys talking.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, I don't think a lot of people. I could be totally wrong. How many people were swayed by Rogan? I don't know.
We watch Jeopardy. We always see these commercials that are just like, anytime there's a commercial trying to make you feel calm about something. Yeah. You just kind of freak out. Like if you're a person with any kind of contrarian instinct, right? You're just like, why are they trying to get me to accept this so much? Yeah. Like it's like it's natural. Also, like, the bar for misinformation is not that someone's wrong.
Right. It literally is. Like, look, of course, I guess the U.S. government is in the best position to, like, condemn people for misinformation. No, you're right. I mean, why don't they just admit this? Like, why did the CIA just come out and, like, with a misinformation task force? I mean, what are we doing here? It's just disgusting. The hypocrisy of that. Yeah. Right? Like, because it's one thing when, like, Neil Young's doing it. And it's like, I guess Neil Young had a crisis of conscience. Probably not, but, like, whatever. But, like, when the White House starts chiming in, it's like, no. Whatever. So the point is, it's a very aggressive time on Twitter. Yeah. I keep trying to have fun. I keep trying to have my Weekend at Bernie's vibe. But someone came out, some leftist, I believe, saying, I watched 20 minutes of RoboCop. I had to turn it off because it was obvious Copaganda.
What a moron.
Now, for those who are uninitiated, Copaganda is propaganda for the cops. So a very clever term.
And there's, like, you could look at a lot of shows.
Right.
Some of which, like, I've liked over the years that it's, like, that are clearly, I guess, I'm not going to use that word, but it's like
Law and Order,
propaganda.
Any CSI, any cop show.
Not every word needs to be a silly compound. It's propaganda.
Right. This is taxaganda.
Yeah. Like
this is suckaganda. You're trying to get me to suck, but I'm too smart for you. I'll shut this movie off before I suck.
Law and Order SVU is kind of propaganda.
Of course it is.
It's trying to make you comfortable with the idea of Chris Maloney always violating people's civil liberties.
Yeah, the difference between that and the Shield, like, he doesn't, like, there's no, like, lens by which it's, like, kind of, like, he's just the good guy for beating up, because they're pedophiles. Right. But, like, there always are pedophiles. He's never got the wrong guy, right?
Right. It's the convenience of context. Yeah. Like, it's like, whereas Michael Chiklis, you see him, every once in a while you see him beating up someone who, like, maybe deserves it, even if it's a violation of their rights. Yeah. But then also sometimes he's shoving a gun in a woman's mouth. Right. And, like,
I didn't coerce the confession. I just put a unloaded gun in her mouth. Yeah. And just, like, he just does stuff like that. Like, what am I thinking of? He shoved a gun in someone's mouth.
He shoved a gun in that prostitute's mouth because she didn't want to. She didn't want to go along with the sting because she wouldn't be able to bring the guy enough money that it would be realistic.
Right. But he was only doing that, to be fair, to use pimp dynamics. To make himself the pimp, so that she would go along with it because it was in her best interest. Right. But the ludicrousness of calling many people pointed this out. But RoboCop, I can't think of a more on the nose satire of, like, the confluence of, like, corporations and police work and and like the destruction it has on, like, urban communities.
Right. And just, like, on a person's soul also on some level. Like, it's like,
so I don't know what your lefty friends over there on Twitter are up to. But it got me thinking about, what else is Copaganda? Yeah. And I feel like we should try to come up with some, good examples.
Mississippi Burning.
I'm ashamed to admit. Is it about Medgar Evers?
I think it's about.
I don't know. I know it's about, like, racial killings, right?
I don't remember it that well, but there was definitely a bunch of, like, corrupt cops.
And the corrupt cops kill, like, black kids. Okay. Okay, snob. Thanks. What else? Tarkovsky's Ivan's Childhood. Thanks. I was thinking more of the Gilmore Girls. Because, but honestly, if we could be really good leftists, I feel like, I could. I go either way. I think I'd be good at both. I should really kind of auction off my powers. But, because I feel like I can make the case that, like, Stars Hollow, the place where the Gilmore Girls takes place, is, like, this idyllic suburban fantasy land that, like, kind of invokes this perpetual, what do they call that? Like, urban exit, like, white flight.
Oh, sure, yeah.
This kind of, and this kind of folksy, like, are there any minorities in, or black people at least, in that show? I know there's some, like, Asian people.
They're few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like, look, there aren't a lot of cops in the show. But, like, the implication is, like, we don't need cops.
We don't need cops because if a black person ever comes here, we'll just pick up our guns and our pitchforks and we'll harass them till they leave.
Or more likely, the cops will. The cops are hiding, waiting for the black people.
They're just hiding in bushes.
Yeah. It's like, I see. That would be, like, if SNL was a good show. Yeah. And also if it was 15 years ago, they would do a sketch like that. We should do a sketch like that, but as I said, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's not particularly relevant.
Who cares? Time is obsolete now.
You're right. People watch let's make a sketch about it.
Yeah.
I'm just hiding No, we're going to make it look bad. This is a touchy subject. It's just going to be me hiding in the bush and go, what are you doing? I'm waiting for a black. And, like, the satire will be, they couldn't get satire in RoboCop. You're not going to get it with me. So maybe not. But what else? What else would you call Copaganda out there?
I probably like Blue Bloods.
I don't think you're getting the gimmick here, Lucy.
Right.
To break the fourth wall. I mean, I'm taking not things that are about cops. I'm talking about like
things that aren't about cops.
Yeah, it's a levity thing. We're making a little riff.
Your criteria is too strict.
It's not too strict.
We could talk about Blue Bloods and it would be fun.
Fine. I don't think my criteria is too strict, but it's like, how about we just do shows that aren't actually about cops and aren't actually Copaganda? I don't think anything's actually been Copaganda more than Blue Bloods. I've never seen the show. I don't think Tom Selleck. All right, go ahead.
I would say The Americans.
The Americans, a show about two Russian deep cover operatives.
Yeah.
Committing atrocious crimes.
Right. Specifically the character of Stan.
Oh, the FBI agent.
Because it implies that an FBI agent would go undercover in the KKK in order to expose them and not just join them sincerely.
Yeah, not having founded the organization. Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah, because, the show starts out and he's like, the first episode, I think, he gets a new partner. Like, he's the guy who's going to be, like, kind of the antagonist, right? And he's like, and the guy's like, oh, you were undercover with the white nationalists, huh? And he's like, what is that? Like, like burning crosses on lawns? And he's like, a little deeper than that. Like, I started the white nationalist organization. That was the funny thing about, yeah. I mean, because like, just for context, if you're not as if you look into look into Elohim City, right, and the whole which is kind of technically the Oklahoma City bombing investigation and stuff. If you go to any kind of enclave of white nationalists, it seems like 4 out of 5 guys are federal agents. Right. It's like, I don't know if we're helping here. Right.
Yeah, at a certain point, you're just convincing mentally ill veterans to become white supremacists.
Which, like,
so you can have something to take back to your superiors.
Maybe I'm not a big picture guy. Maybe there's a valid point there. Maybe like the chess game of life here. Yeah. What else is cop? Blues Clues.
Blues Clues?
Yeah.
I was singing a song from Blues Clues earlier.
You were, and I feel like you've been Copagandized.
I've been singing about mail all day long.
I mean, the idea of connecting blues, like Boys in Blue, with clues. Oh. When really, how much are they really looking into clues? It's enforcing at an early age that the Boys in Blue look for clues, right? But really, they're just cramming confessions out of people by force, shove them into Rikers for 2 years at a time. Or look, I'm sure there's some guys out there who are just doing puzzles. I don't mean like crime puzzles, solving crimes. But I'm just saying. But look, I'm not trying to say no one's a detective, but it's trying to it's trying to get that at an early age. The cops look for clues. They're not gonna just arrest you for after planting an 8-ball in your mouth, which is what I claimed. Right. When I got a DUI. Because it's an 8-ball, I tried to spit it as I was driving, and it landed in my lap. I don't know. This is not true. What else? Let's think of more examples. The Bachelor.
The Bachelor?
Yeah. It just gets you into men. And the idea that men are like not...
Men are cops.
The idea that men aren't scum. I mean, look, whatever. I mean, like, the idea of these they're always got these broad shoulders.
Right.
And like these, classical men, and just I don't know. I feel like a lot of women look at cops and they just imagine The Bachelor, and they fuck them, and they realize, this guy planted evidence on me in case I accuse him of rape.
Yeah.
Something.
The Fly.
The Fly.
David
Interesting.
Cronenberg's The Fly as Copaganda.
How does that work?
Well, the part where he's turning into this kind of fly monster.
Best part.
Right. And the part in The Fly where the guy becomes a fly.
Oh yeah.
He's turning into but the final form of the fly monster, which is this disgusting,
A bumblebee.
slimy, half man, half beast kind of creature.
Sure.
Right. And Gina Davis comes in with a shotgun and blows the fly creature apart.
Right.
It just kind of gives the impression that there are these fly creatures behind every door.
Oh.
And that when cops bust down a door and just start shooting randomly.
Right.
It's like, well, they're looking for a fly creature.
Why did you shoot Amadou Diallo 37 times? Look, I'm not saying I thought he was a fly creature. But every time I go into a dark building, I'm thinking about fly creatures. And he happened to get in the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting
Yeah.
take. Singled Out with Jay McCarthy and Chris Hardwick. Both kind of disgraced people, right? Jay McCarthy was kind of the proto anti-vaxxer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Chris Hardwick was I don't know if that kind of blew over or not, but he had a whole Me Too thing, right?
Right.
But in the 90s, they hosted Singled Out, where you had 50 single men, 50 single women, and they singled you out. I don't remember how it worked. You asked questions, right? But the whole idea of corralling people into Rikers, for instance.
Right.
We're gonna get our man, who raped the vice president. The vice president raped the vice president three separate times. In where is he? He lives in the Naval Academy, right?
Right.
The Naval Observatory. I mean,
Yeah.
he broke into the Naval Observatory, and I don't know why we're laughing. It's a terrible crime. Oh, you know what? We actually have a female vice president, so it seems awful now.
Right.
I was thinking about Pence in my head for some reason, but yeah, I forgot Camilla Harris. So now it's just terrible. I don't know why. Look, people go, why is it? Why is it one thing to rape a man? Is that any worse, better? But it's worse with a woman.
Yeah.
It just is.
Right.
It happens more. Right.
It happens more. Yeah. I mean, I guess.
I'm sorry if
I just want to put it out there. I'm not trying to get any vice presidents raped, regardless of their gender.
It's a horrendous crime. But I mean, I just feel whatever. But
I have another one.
Sure, get me out of this.
For Copaganda.
Yeah.
Alice in Wonderland. You may have read the book as a kid. You may have seen the cartoon.
Okay,
You may have seen the remake, the live-action remake with Helena Bonham Carter.
I did not.
And Johnny Depp, I think.
Did he throw a Coke plate at her? What happened? Did she slice his thumb off?
She cut his fingers off, and he hit her, and she shit in his bed. It's a mess.
Is that true? She shit in his bed?
Yeah.
Amber Heard shit in Johnny Depp's bed?
That's the story.
Wow. Look who's a cop.
Morning Glory.
Thanks, cop.
But Alice in Wonderland is Copaganda because Alice is basically a fucking cop. She's basically coming into this world that she doesn't even understand.
Right.
This neighborhood down through the rabbit hole, sticking her nose where it doesn't belong. And she's going around telling all of these creatures who live in this world that they're doing things wrong.
Oh yeah.
And it's like this isn't your turf, bitch.
Right. Step off.
Step off.
You're about to get fucking. We're gonna do you like we did Vice President Pence at the Naval Observatory. We're the same guys. Let's see what else. What is popular? What is the thing people like that we can kind of piss on and shit all over? What's
the Tinder
the
Swindler.
Masked Singer?
Oh, okay. The Masked Singer. That's the Copaganda.
Yeah, because the Masked Singer was like a SWAT guy. And they just go in and they shoot people. And they're wearing little SWAT masks and they sing.
Yeah.
They sing while they're shooting people.
Right.
I don't know. I never seen the Masked Singer. Yeah. That got a little controversy because of Giuliani. Apparently Ken Jeong, and
famous doctor.
Who was the other guy? The guy from Blurred Lines. Robin Thicke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Robin Thicke, the guy who like felt up some unconscious girl?
Well, that was people's first comment was the consensus thing I read off, was happening like a week or two ago. Was like, it's bad when like Robin Thicke thinks this is bad. But like Giuliani was, I guess, the guy under the mask.
Yeah.
And the Ken Jeong and Robin Thicke didn't like it.
I did read a couple of these stories talking about it, but I was frustrated that they didn't say whether or not he sang good. Like,
it's a good point.
Did he sing well?
It's a good point. This is like anti whatever he is propaganda.
Yeah.
I mean, Giuliani is a cop, actually.
That's true.
I mean, he wasn't a cop. He was, according to like leftist rhetoric, he probably would be because he was a what do they call it? Federal prosecutors. What do they call them? Come on, what do they call? Help me out once.
What, DAs?
No, not DAs. There's the other thing.
Federal prosecutors. Attorneys general.
Yeah, but not the attorney general. They're like the deputy generals or something.
Okay.
Whatever. Can you help me out once?
Deputy attorneys general?
No, it's something else. Justice. Look it up, please. Look up what Rudy Giuliani was.
Okay.
On your computer, on your laptop computer. Because I want people to know. Just help me out here.
I'm helping you. What?
Something of justice, right? King of justice.
King of justice. That's it.
What was he? Career.
Attorney.
No.
Associate Attorney General.
Do they have a better term for that? Whatever. We're spending too long.
He was a mayor. Did you know that?
No, I never heard of that. What was he, the mayor of Pussytown?
Yeah.
Just getting pussy?
Pussytown. He's known for coming up with a theme song for Pussytown.
Deputy Attorney General? I feel like it's done it.
He was Trump's lawyer. I don't know what you're supposed to call that.
Well, that's not what I'm talking. I'm talking about back in the 80s when he was fighting the mob.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you knocked Batman over.
He led the federal prosecution of the New York City Mafia.
Yeah, but that's not what his job title wasn't.
As a U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York.
U.S. attorney. Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't get that exactly.
U.S. attorney. That's it. U.S. attorney. Yeah, his job title wasn't fighter of the mob. Sorry, it's not an exact title.
I have another Copaganda suggestion.
Is it Batman?
Oh. You want to move on to Batman?
Not yet. What's your suggestion?
One more.
Yeah.
Also a popular thing. The Tinder swindler.
I heard about this over the week. People were tweeting about it. Did you watch it?
No, but I have seen this preview for it, and I instantly know it's Copaganda.
What is it?
It's basically about this cool guy who used Tinder to steal a bunch of money from hot women.
Good.
After he fucked him.
I'm on the ugly guy side. Is he ugly guy?
No, I think he was kind of hot. And, he was good at he was good at giving off the illusion that he was very rich.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Oh, but women don't care about money.
Yeah. And so, but it's Copaganda because the Twitter swindler is basically a bunch of women snitching on this guy.
Yeah. Anytime you snitch, it's Copaganda.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good. So we'll move on to the Batman.
Yeah.
This week's Batman is, I forget. I think it's the Rebirth Batman. I don't know. I want to say it one more time. I don't know why he has axes. He has battle damage. If you look at the scars on him, see?
No.
He is like someone cut his pants.
Poor Batman.
Someone cut his pants a little bit. I like to think that, because he's got Wayne Manor, right?
Yeah.
His big mansion. And I'm sure he has a nice big fireplace. I'm sure we've seen it in various forms of Batman. And he probably has like what they call cords of wood delivered, right? And this is him when he goes out to chop wood. Sometimes he gets drunk first, and this is how he cuts wood up for the fireplace. He dresses up in his little bat suit, and he takes his axes, and he goes out and just starts cutting up wood. What do you think of that?
I think it's great. I always like an axe.
Yeah.
I don't think enough heroes work with axes.
You would like to see heroes decapitate people with axes more?
Yeah. Or just slice them down the middle.
I mean, it's still deadly. So, yeah. So
No, I don't mean like because it's not deadly. I just mean because that would look cool too.
So even though Batman's got a not killing code, I tried to come up with a scenario where he's not killing people, but you're like, yeah, I prefer it if he cut children in half. Violent criminal children.
That's true. How does one give like a non-fatal axe wound?
Well,
like,
I think implication might be because look, there's times when he fights people from other dimensions, aliens, when like, you have to use an axe. You can't just use detective skills against a violent alien.
Right.
So you can't just choke them. You have to go Braveheart on them. And so we're assuming what this is.
Who's like the DC Iron Man? Like the guy who's making all the shit for all the other people?
Batman. I mean, Batman's got a couple of guys. Like, he's got a guy who makes the Batmobile. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And he's got like...
wait, is that Fox?
Oh, yeah, Lucius Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think there's a different guy who makes the Batmobile, at least in the old school one. But, Lucius Fox, for instance, helps, the R&D. I mean, Lex Luthor's kind of the Iron Man, but he's a bad guy, I feel like.
Right.
But he seems like to be the genius one. DC's less into genius. Well, I guess I like Batman. But, I mean, geniuses tend to be more evil in DC, I would speculate. As opposed to Marvel, where it's just, Tony Stark getting his dick wet, going all over Europe, building missiles that, collateral damage, invading Norway, whatever he's doing.
Killing the parents of future superheroes.
Yeah, does he do that? You think he does that to preserve his own hegemony?
Maybe, yeah.
Just like, so because you're an Iron Man fan, you like Iron Man, but you think Iron Man goes around like King Herod of the Bible, just murdering babies.
No, well, not murdering babies, just murdering their parents.
Oh.
Before
they conceive.
Well, it's like Wanda. Wanda's origin story is that
Oh, so you don't mean on purpose?
No.
Okay.
Well, by way of collateral damage.
Sure. I was thinking you were saying he was preventing them from becoming superheroes by killing their parents, so he could stay on top. Which I think.
Well, I think that maybe there's a point in there though.
Yeah.
Where maybe once they do become superheroes, when they're kind of making amends with Tony Stark, right? Because they realize, he's...
You're an okay guy, even though you murdered my mom.
You're an okay guy. That's partially... It's his manipulation. It's him gaslighting them after the fact.
I'm the world's richest man, so your mother wasn't even a person to me. So I want you to know that. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is I don't feel like I really did murder her because she's, not a person. So I think we should be cool.
Remember that, at the beginning of the Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Or no, yeah. Age of Ultron. No. Another one.
Whatever.
Civil War. Okay. Civil War.
Oh, when the woman got mad at him.
But the woman got mad at him, and then she
shoved the picture in his face.
He indignantly shows the picture to the rest of the Avengers and goes this was the kid we killed.
He had a whole 2 days to process it. Recognize this guy? Well, neither did you.
Yeah.
Trying to ambush us, Tony, you drunk rich fuck.
I just imagine some young woman going "This is my mother. One of your bombs killed her."
Yeah.
And Tony Stark is like, "Oh God, that's terrible. Can I keep that picture?
Right.
Because I want to show this to the Avengers."
I think she might have done the thing where she this is him, and let go of it, and you keep that.
Yeah.
To be fair, but I do like the idea of. Honestly, you be the mother.
Yeah.
And I'll be Tony Stark.
I've been waiting for so long to confront you.
Oh, we gonna make love in my robot?
No, we're not gonna make love.
I have female robot suits ready to go.
God damn it!
Wow. I could have sex with my dick has. You don't understand. I've used the Iron Man technology to keep my dick erect with little machines. I can fuck really good.
All right, look, I'll consider it.
Yeah,
but I want you
I'll make your pussy feel so good.
I want you to look at this child first.
Okay.
This is my child.
Oh, that's cool.
I gave birth to him with my body.
Is it mine?
No.
Oh, all right. I thought maybe you're not bad like a woman. I'm just saying.
He was killed by one of your bombs.
Oh, is he a terrorist?
No.
Was he in Hydra?
No, he was a little baby. Can't you see this is a picture of a baby?
It was actually a picture of a teenager at the very least, actually. If you,
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my other son. He's still alive. Oh. This is my baby who you killed.
I don't, no. In the movie, it wasn't a baby.
I know, but I want to be another mother.
Okay.
Who has a baby.
Well, look.
It raises the stakes.
Look, was Thanos using him as a human shield? Because I will not allow civilians to be used as human shields. So I just ignore the fact that they're there. Because I'm not going to let him win.
You think that? Look, I understand that sometimes people use babies as human shields. You think Thanos has to do that?
I mean, I gave Thanos a licking at one point. I don't know what you heard, but I'm pretty good at fighting and fucking.
This is a baby. He was just hanging out in the Middle East where we live, and one of your bombs.
Why was he just hanging out? Why'd you put him in a bomb shelter or something? You knew I was there.
Live.
I'm a dangerous guy. Isn't that kind of sex? Isn't that why you like me?
One of your bombs landed on his head and killed him from the head down.
One of my bombs lands in your pussy. Dick bomb.
Look, you don't feel any guilt or shame about this? About killing my baby?
That's my sexy dick sound. I'm not pissing in your pussy. That's just the sound I make when I'm sex. That's my sex sound.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Is that what you want to hear?
That's it?
I mean, you want some money?
Yeah.
Okay, here's 100 grand.
I want
100 grand. How about
Wait,
that?
hold on. Don't
100 grand's not bad.
Don't rush me.
100 grand for
Don't
a kid?
rush
That's
me.
a lot of
I know
money.
how much you make.
I mean, look, why I've asked to tie up in stock options.
This baby's irreplaceable.
I mean,
You understand that?
but it's not I could buy it. I better buy the baby from you, even though it's dead. I mean, I'm getting the raw end of the deal here because it's not even around anymore.
Okay. All right. I got an idea.
What do you want for your baby?
I got an idea for you.
What are we paying for this baby that I killed? The Iron Man killed.
The Iron Man. Stop trying to separate yourself from your alter ego.
Look, the Iron Man does what the Iron Man does. I built the Iron Man, so I feel responsible.
I want $20 million.
Yeah, okay. Whatever.
Wow.
Are we done?
That was easy.
Yeah, we done? I'm so rich.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really rich. You want me to be my wife?
You can write me a check. How about $50 million?
No. I get this rich by let people make second deals. You got 20. Just, how about 5?
No,
20 is good, right? Yeah.
20's good.
20's great. Okay.
20's perfect.
Are
you gonna cut me a check?
Yeah. Can I keep this picture though? I want to shame my friends with it. Fun stuff. So I mean,
axe wielding Batman.
He kind of it's like a Braveheart Batman.
He's gonna come after Joe Rogan.
This is more real. Yeah, I mean, this is the bat. This reminds me of the Mob after Joe Rogan, and in some cases, sometimes Batman's right. So maybe I'm not on the side of the Mob, but they have some points, I guess. Like
They should make a version of Batman where it's like literally every time a person gets like canceled on Twitter, he goes out and murders them.
You shouldn't have said something about Planet of the Apes. Like they ignored all the other stuff. Like it's just they find the worst thing.
Right.
The Planet of the Apes, the other stuff was look. I believe in open free speech, but the Planet of the Apes thing that was a little fucked up. I know you apologize for it, but I'm gonna cut you with an axe. Yeah, I mean, do you think Batman would like Joe Rogan?
I mean, I think that I think Batman would come on the Joe Rogan podcast to explain some of his, faults.
Do you want to be Joe Rogan or Batman here? I'll be Batman or
I don't know. Okay, I'll be Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Because you did such a great Batman last time. So man, I hear you're kind of
Thanks for having me on, Joe.
Yeah, man, you're taking a lot of heat. You're taking a lot of heat recently.
Likewise.
Wait, what's your thing? Explain to people what your
thing is.
What your thing is.
Well, I dress up like a bat and a who. And I fight crime because
do bats who? Jamie, pull that up. Do bats who?
Look, owls hoot.
Hold on. I want to
owls hoot.
I want to pull it up. Yeah, owl. I'm seeing it up here. Owls hoot.
Right, bats who?
There's nothing that says. There's nothing that says bats who.
I'm trying to get it going. All right.
Look, you can who. It doesn't mean it, but it doesn't mean that bats who.
I don't feel like Rogan would like push a fight up against Batman.
I don't know. I think he would want to.
You're right. Wait, he does needle for like weird points for some reason. This is the one thing he would like question. The bats who? But I'd be like, look, I murder criminals, cold blood, when I suspect them of killing people.
Okay. Because I had heard that you had some kind of code.
I do. I don't actually murder them, but I do. I kill them sometimes, but I don't. I have a code where I don't murder them.
That's a real thing. Murdering criminals is a real thing, bro.
Yeah. My parents are murdered by criminals. I won't tell you which criminal. I want you to find out who I am.
No, if a criminal murdered your parents, you gotta say who.
I don't.
That's a crime. If you know who murdered your parents, you gotta say.
But then you'll know who I am. I can't let that happen, Joe.
Look, if a criminal murdered my parents, like
I'm Bruce Wayne.
They could be out there murdering somebody else's parents.
I took care of them. I crippled them. I'm Bruce Wayne, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to smoke a joint with me?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Elon Musk. I was like, I just want to do that with Joe Rogan.
I don't feel like I did the best Joe Rogan impression.
I don't feel like it's my best Batman.
But to be fair, hey
man,
he's a complicated guy.
Yeah, you be Batman. Hey man, you do like jujitsu or something? What kind of wait? You say jujitsu?
I studied with a League of Assassins. Unlike the world has ever seen.
That's really interesting because I went to 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu with Eddie Bravo, and a lot of people call him a League assassin. So that's really cool.
Sometimes I see in my dreams.
You ever think about competing in the UFC?
Sometimes in my dreams I see hordes of bats flying towards me at rapid speed.
Bro, you should do DMT. Anyway. So that's that. That's the thing. Can you stand him up?
Yeah.
Thanks. Fun times with Batman. That was a weird detour. Just two of us. Those are our two worst impressions.
Those are maybe the two worst impressions of all time.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to bring. I don't want to spend too long on this, but it might be old news at this point. Whoopi Goldberg caught a lot of heat last week for people are saying she minimized the Holocaust, right? All right, so it all stems. The real reason I want to talk about this because Whoopi, whatever.
I mean, she really just said something that was wrong, but
it was wrong.
Like, as in, incorrect.
Well, here's the thing. We'll get to what led to it in a minute because that's more interesting than me for our purpose. But she basically said the Holocaust isn't about racism. But she was doing it in a way where she was trying to pontificate, I feel like.
Well, she always does that. That's always her thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she's actually, I might be wrong, but I feel like she probably has said something like this about slavery before.
Oh, probably.
Like, it's like, so it's not like it's some kind of, like, it's exclusive to this. But she did say, she basically said the Holocaust wasn't about race.
I explained it to you while we were hanging out. When you heard about this, that she was, I brought up a clip of The West Wing where Toby, after a black character, Charlie had been, he wasn't actually shot, but they were targeting Charlie.
Right.
And he goes like, Toby's like, goes to the president, like, why does it feel this way? I've seen shootings before. And Jeb Bartlett very solemnly, it wasn't a shooting, Toby. It was a lynching. They tried to lynch Charlie right in front of our eyes. Can you imagine that? And like that's what Whoopi Goldberg was trying to channel when she started going like, "This isn't about race. The Holocaust wasn't about race.
Yeah,
it's about people doing harm to people." And she's trying to be like this kind of
she's trying to be deeper than like
than the 6 million people who were killed.
Yeah, it's like.
But like I mean, I don't think she was trying to say it wasn't
she's like. Well, I'm going to point out something that here's the thing. That Anne Frank's diary was great, but here's the point it missed.
I don't think that Whoopi Goldberg was trying to say the Holocaust wasn't about race. It was about tax evasion.
Right. Yeah. I don't think she was saying the Holocaust was about states' rights.
Right.
Like,
But she's a pompous buffoon.
But she is very, she is.
I mean, I guess people are bringing up the Ted Danson thing. I've seen a few references to that where Ted Danson, who she was dating at the time,
I didn't know they were dating.
Oh, they dated for a while.
They were fucking?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Back in like the early 90s, I guess. The Cheers era. But then there was a roast for Whoopi Goldberg, I think at the Friars Club. I could be wrong. And like Ted Danson came out and doing blackface.
Oh, right, yeah.
And like Whoopi was like, I ain't into it. I don't know. I don't know what that contributes to this.
Yeah.
She obviously wouldn't put that on her resume, probably. Nor with Ted Danson, I imagine. But whatever. But it all stemmed. The reason they were talking about the Holocaust at all, I guess, is because there's a book called Maus, Maus, which is basically about.
You got it for me.
I got it for you a few years back. It's a graphic novel about the Holocaust. With Jews being represented by mice, and then the Nazis are cats, right? And it wasn't banned, right? But what happened with it?
A Tennessee school board banned it
from
school libraries, which is kind of like it's the kind of thing. It is censorship,
sure,
but it's censorship light, kind of.
Yeah,
like it's like you can still get it at a public library in Tennessee.
Right. Yeah,
but the fact that it's like public schools are banning it, it's still censorship.
What was the rationale? Because it seems to be wrapped up in like a CRT or critical race theory discussion. This event, but like, is that what it was? Like,
well, a bunch of things have been banned, or either they've been banned or people are trying to get them banned because of the critical race theory thing.
In retaliation.
I don't think this is that.
Right. Okay.
I think this is that. I think this is some dumb people who got on the school board, just not understanding.
Do they think it trivialized the Holocaust?
That this is actually written by a guy whose father survived the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And
what is this, Tom and Jerry about the Holocaust?
Right.
Unheard of. It's unheard of.
Yeah. Or it's anti-Semite. That's also possible, but it's like,
right.
It
seems like a weird thing to ban. You think they were banned like Anne Frank?
Yeah.
I guess that'd be a bigger story though, right?
Yeah, it would be. That would be huge.
Yeah. But if you're not gonna ban Anne Frank, I don't know what good banning Maus does you.
Right.
Like
at one point, Art Spiegel. I was listening to like an interview with Art Spiegelman about it, and he was like,
he's their author.
He was like, I'm just kind of like baffled because it's like, assuming that these people like somehow magically aren't anti-Semites. Like it's hard for him to even believe that they're not Nazis because it's like, just because it's like to him it's so obvious that his book is anti-Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like,
now the reason I find it interesting is because I had experience with this book as a young man.
Right.
I think 4th grade, and I saw a kid reading it. Now the cover of Maus is like, it's like a mouse with like a big swastika around them. So like,
yeah, it's a provocative cover.
Yeah, you look at, even as a 4th or 5th, whatever I was young, 4th grade, let's just say. Even as a young kid, I'm like, well, there's something going on there, right? There's something. This ain't just about mice. And I said to this kid, he was like reading it. I said, "Oh, what are you reading?" He's like, "Maus." And I'm like, "Oh, what's it about?" Because like it's obviously something about something crazy, right?
Right.
And he goes, "It's about mice." And it was like, I knew it wasn't true. First of all, I knew it couldn't be true. Nothing about mice would just have a big swastika on it.
Yeah.
And I knew he knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I knew he didn't just start it and assume it was about.
You knew that this wasn't the novelization of Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Which wasn't around when I was a kid.
Right.
You're reverse aging me. But like I knew this was a guy telling me to go fuck myself. But like there really is not much of a because I already asked him what it's about. So I can't be like, I mean, look, I could now. I could definitely, you put me in this position with a
Okay, let's do this now. This will be cathartic. Do what you would do now.
Okay.
You be you, I'll be the kid.
Hey, what are you reading?
Maus.
Oh, yeah. What's it about?
It's about mice.
Are you piece? Listen, you think I'm a fucking idiot, don't you? You think I'm just some fucking jerk? I'm asking you because it's obviously a provocative title. You got a swastika on the front of your book. Are you telling me you're some moron who doesn't know what a swastika is? That you don't know what the Holocaust is? Do you even know what a Nazi is? You little piece of shit. I'm so much older than you. Oh man, I'm not gonna hit you because I don't need to. Because I can outsmart you. Because I'm you fucking piece. Well, I might hit you. Oh man! I mean, I'm asking because it's a provocative title because it's got a swat. Maybe it's in the future with neo-Nazi mice. I don't know. Is it just literally about? It's got to be about Nazis.
You want to kiss?
No, you're a fourth grader. Piece of shit. I mean, it's not because you're trying to, dude.
Oh, I thought you guys were in the same grade.
Well, we were, but now I'm like, but I've established already that this is me as an adult doing it.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be inappropriate. Don't kiss me. That would be inappropriate.
No, you brought this up, and I had there was no hesitation in me saying no. What are you talking about? You fucking basket case. I'm out of here. That was cathartic. Thank you.
It was?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I think that was fun.
Yeah.
That was a better improv than the Joe Rogan one. Hey, man, I was about to run into an impression of my bad, awful Joe Rogan improv. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
You can subscribe to the Patreon if you like. You can find the link in the description. You get an extra episode every week for $5 a month.
This episode, we went into a little bit more in depth about some of the
Rogan thing. We went to a whole thing with that. It was a lot of fun. We got the Kump Dump tier too. It's a little more expensive, but this week we're doing a live viewing of the watch along of the opening ceremony, comparing it with the 08 ceremony. Very cool. Stuff you can't do on YouTube without getting kicked off because it's whatever. So it's fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
I don't think so.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You people are phenomenal. We'll see you next week.